The common thread question is always like, where do I need to be right now? I don't want to comb through a schedule. I don't want to have to look of this. The goal was to make it feel like you're texting the concierge in a hotel. The best VIP host that you could have. We wanted to meet people really where they were. So we created this platform. We built it from scratch. And it's also like amazing how much people interact. We're really able to like find the needs without really changing the platform.
Welcome, Jordan. I'm super excited to have you on the podcast today. You've been involved in events for quite a while now. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so I originally started my career in PR marketing, spent close to a decade doing that, and always enjoyed the event side of it and really enjoyed working on events, being part of events, and made a career transition into the experiential side. And so I worked for a couple different agencies and then started Analog Events 10 years ago this year. So we're
Oh,
celebrating our
wow.
10 years. And in it, we sort of like always wanted to create really unique experiences for guests and always thinking like guest experience first, hospitality first, and having that PR and marketing mindset into where we are as an agency.
Very cool. So if you were going to pick a favorite event that you've attended or worked on, what would that be?
It's funny. I was just at a dinner last night. We were talking about the exact same thing of like, what are some of our favorite events? And uh, you know, it's hard for me to pick a favorite event and more so like favorite clients. Like there's certain clients that I really
Yes.
love working with because they let us push the boundaries, push the limits. We I always say that we don't do anything with personal dollars. So we don't do weddings, we don't do bar
Mhm.
mitzvahs. We really stay in like the corporate lane for our events. And in that, we get to work with huge brands like Netflix and Olaplex and
Mhm.
Bravo, and cool new companies that are coming up in the space in like the tech world, as
Mhm.
well as like big, media conglomerates like iHeartRadio is a big client of ours. So we really get
Mhm.
a really fun breadth of the different clients. And I think, one of my favorite events over the years has been with Halsey, the music
Okay.
artist, and
Uh-huh.
we produced her Halloween party for numerous years, and it ended before COVID, and we are always trying to bring this party back. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. But it was a team. We worked with her and her team directly, and we're able to like really push the limits of like what was cool, unique. Like we were creating Instagrammable moments before Instagrammable moments were really a thing 10 years ago,
Yes.
and being in this world of like letting people just like let loose and have fun and experience like a fun Halloween world, but also just like integrating brands into it and making it like a
Mhm.
giant playground.
That sounds really fun. Makes me want to attend. So, hey, you've got analog events and you've started something new, I think, agent analog.
Yeah, so earlier this year we launched Agent Analog, and Agent Analog is a text-based concierge for attendees at events.
Oh,
Our sweet spot has really been high touch hospitality. So we're working with I can't say who right now, but it's a think about like one of the biggest sporting brands in the world. We're
okay.
working with them on like VIP hospitality and really providing this sort of white glove service to attendees there. Conferences, conventions, trade shows, providing attendees there this text based concierge. So we built it called Agent Analog, and the goal was to make it feel like you're texting the concierge in a hotel, like like
Hmm.
you're texting like the best VIP host that you could have of where do I need to be right now. And so it would say, Tim, it is X time. Here's where you need to be right now. And it would say, Jordan, here's where you need to be right now. So it really knows your individual track. It knows who you are, your where you need to be. So as complicated sometimes as that, or as simple as like, what's the Wi-Fi? Where's parking? The
Yes.
questions that like attendees always have. And as an
Uh-huh.
organizer, my team gets bombarded with that, with the texts, the calls, the Slack messages, the notes of like these simple things.
Right.
And so we created this platform. We built it from scratch. We're using it's AI powered in the background. We did not use AI to build it. We went sort of
Mm,
old school development route to build the platform. But in it, we really wanted it to feel custom to that. And so we're working with like huge Fortune 100, 500 brands in this because they're finding like a really great need that they want to be able to provide this to guests. Sometimes the event
mhm.
apps are not as dynamic as they need to be. Sometimes the
Right.
event apps are so dynamic that we can't be that support. So again,
Yes.
it's like we live in text message. Like I always tell my team, if you need to
Mm,
really reach me, text me, don't email me because it's like our emails quickly get buried, especially when you're attending a conference. But you and I are probably texting back and forth nonstop. So
yeah.
we wanted to meet people really where they were.
Right. That's a great insight because yeah, I totally live in texts, especially on an event. Um, yeah, the whole team on one big yeah, and then individuals also. And so, uh, what's the biggest question analog has answered via text? Like I, because I get all the like the Wi-Fi parking, where do I need to be? Um, all that's in the FAQs, and nobody reads them, which is why your team gets asked 100 times. I mean, the back of your badge has the Wi-Fi info on it, but nobody thinks you're in the moment and you need the answer. And but I mean, so that is an amazing uh, solution. But what about what's the biggest? I mean, how far can it go? I guess is the
It,
question.
it can get pretty deep. We're able to do food ordering through this, so anything that's non-transactional, like
Wow.
so we can take an entire conference's lunch order. So you're sitting down at like a lunch, we can take 1,000 orders in 10 seconds. As
No
quickly as people are able
way.
to respond is really how fast we could take those orders, and it would know, oh, Tim's sitting in seat 30, at table 32, and he ordered the chicken for lunch. That
Hmm.
immediately gets parsed out to the catering team, the banquet team. And so they're able to like, if you place those orders the night before, the morning of, like however it works from an organizer standpoint, we can take all those orders. Coffee carts are another great one. So
Mm.
people want to do the morning coffee cart, just like you're sort of placing that Starbucks mobile app.
Yes.
We're able to do the same thing over text there. So it can't take transactions, like it's not taking credit card information. It could potentially link out if it needed to, but also then if you were a vegetarian attending an event and you're like, I'm vegetarian, what are the lunch options going to be? We seem to get like
Hmm.
that 11 o'clock witching hour. People are
Oh
always
yeah.
texting the agent like, what's for lunch? Or like, what are the vegan options? Or like, should I plan to leave and go off site to go eat? Or do I feel
Right.
like we'll have options here that fit my dietary needs? So we get questions like that. We did a tech event not too long ago, and we had 10 engineers try to crack the agents and try
Oh
to
mercy.
really push it to its limits. And I will say, like, I give our dev team like major credit here because it could have totally gone awry, and they could have been
Yeah.
able to like really do it. And not one question that they asked broke through the agent. Everything was just like, we keep in this ecosystem. Nothing lives beyond that. So it's never searching Google. It's never going out and trying to find the information. It
Mm.
usually says like, here's what I can help you with. Here's what I can't help you with. Like,
Mm.
you may want to go look for these resources on your own.
Okay. So if when it hits its limit, it knows and it can communicate that.
Yeah, or if it's like an extreme of someone gets locked in a stairwell
Mm.
and you have no
Yes,
idea,
that's
like
never happened at an event. It's
never
happened to
happened,
me.
right? It's like, people lost, and it immediately escalates to our team, to the event organizer team, to quickly go through and say like, here's, help is on its way. We're able to jump in, like live human here. Um, and quickly respond to guests. Or if it needs to be like, Tim, you're due on stage in 15 minutes, and the agent can send these reminders to you, to you specifically, versus sort of like that mass blast text.
Mm.
So pretty unique. And then on the back end, from an organizer standpoint, we're able to really look at like sentiment. What are people saying right now? Again, that like 11
Oh,
o'clock
that's
witching
fun.
hour, people want to know what
Uh-huh.
lunch is, and we're seeing these common threads. And so it's like maybe we need to put out snack tomorrow at 11, and during the coffee break we need to like add some bars and fruit or nuts or
Hmm.
something to satiate people a little bit before the 1 o'clock lunch is happening and we're knowing people are hungry or people are complaining it's cold in the room, it's hot in the room. um, what did you think of these speakers? Really getting that live feedback and is so crucial because yes, we can provide a post-event survey, and I think that like
Mm.
anyone in the event world knows how a post-event survey usually goes, but we're able to get
Yes.
all that sentiment analysis really quickly. Were people mean to the agent? Were people nice? Were people you,
Ah, yes.
it's wild what you can get, and it's also like amazing like how much people interact too.
That's really interesting. So loving that. Um, yeah, I was at an event in India last year and literally got locked in a conference room. Had to text um, the venue to come get us out. Yeah, fun.
It's a very real situation, right?
Yeah,
And sometimes you're like, who do I like?
right.
There's an info at email. Like I don't know the organizer to text, or I don't know someone other than calling 911.
Yeah.
And so our goal is not to provide emergency services here, but that's sort of at the most extreme. Really, really, the common thread question is always like, where do I need to be right now? I don't want to comb through a schedule. I don't want to have to look of
Mm,
this like, or what does my afternoon look like? What is the schedule for tomorrow? And getting that like quick parsed information versus like, okay, I'm part of class A. Where are these?
yes.
Really looking through those complex schedules help, and people really want to know like, do I have time to go do something, or I can go
Yes.
jump on a call.
Well, like the emergency services aspect is a huge plus also. I mean, when you need to move that your whole event outside because something went down in the venue, um, being able to direct people via the app would be amazing. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've all been in an event where the fire alarm went off and everybody had to exit. And being able to, direct people via the app would be an amazing tool for that
And also
situation.
just like, here's when it's resuming, right? Like you look at famously Coachella
Yeah.
that has delays, and had to evacuate everyone this
Yes.
this year, or I think it was maybe during Stagecoach, but like giving people those live updates of like, maybe I didn't download the event app and I'm trying to like look on X of like what's happening, what's not happening, but to be able to
Right.
like quickly do a text notification, hey, you know the event's happening now, or there's been a schedule change. The use cases have been really interesting. So we originally built this for attendees, and it was really like that concierge for attendees. And as we've been working with clients, we have clients that want to use it for speaker management. They have 250
Oh,
speakers
yes,
during
they
1 week, and
do.
they're like, our programming team is bombarded with questions from speaker management. Amazing. We now have a tool for this. We're working with a giant festival, a music festival, and they're like, it's good for attendees, but like we have 1,000 staff members on site that
Mm,
always have a ton of questions. How do we give them those quick responses? Because again, they can't sort through FAQs when they're trying to help a guest out
right.
in that use case. We had one client that wanted to do swag ordering through it, and so we're really able to like find the needs without really changing the platform.
Mhm. Does it have you had a chance to use it internationally? How's it work on, international tech?
Yeah, we use it at Cannes Lions this past year with an
Okay.
event at LinkedIn.
Uh-huh.
And we also built out WhatsApp for this. So knowing
Mm.
that both like for a lot of international numbers or when you're traveling international, it can be WhatsApp. So where we start and stop on the process is we don't do registration. Registration, we've learned most of our clients are in some multi-year deal with XYZ
Yeah,
company paying
the big one. Yeah.
exorbitant amount of money for
Yes.
their registration platform, or it's tied to their CRM, or maybe they don't have one, and then we can provide guidance there. So we're not registration. we are really that guest communication tool. So during registration, guests can either say, I want WhatsApp communication, I want SMS communication,
Mm.
and we can split it out. And so if an international guest wants WhatsApp, we can do WhatsApp for them or SMS, or we can blanket the event and say, like, okay, this event is going to be WhatsApp only, or this event's going to be SMS only.
Can it do both at the same event? Or
It can do both at the same event. It just, the attendee needs to pick how they want to receive the communication because we don't
oh yeah,
know. We could
right. If
guess an
everyone's got
international number
WhatsApp,
maybe wants it,
yeah,
but like we don't know that everyone has downloaded WhatsApp even.
yeah. Sometimes it's hard to just get the crew to download WhatsApp.
Right.
Well, that is really fun. Um, yeah, I don't want to take up much more of your time, and I'm super thankful you came on and told us about Agent. But yeah, any closing thoughts? What
I
do you
think
want to?
from a closing standpoint, like where I love to see this industry going is in more tech forward pieces. Like we are probably not the first to do something like this. We're definitely not the last to do something like this. And I think that like our goal here is to lighten the load sometimes of the team versus like again, we're not in this like replacing humans. We want this to be like just one more part of like how do we give the guests or the team members or the staff members the absolute best experience on site.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping that there's a lot more tools that are going to start coming out that really guide that, especially like you look at shows that load in for weeks and they're live for 2
Yes.
days.
Yeah.
And really like it's so much blood, sweat, and tears is put into these events that like they look amazing. Let's also make sure like the guest experience follows that amazingness.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Um,
Thanks for having me on.
yes.